So
The
here we
only
go.
way to start it.
Welcome back, Alchemists. This is the 100 Millionaires podcast. My name is Walter Murillo, and I'm hanging out with my good friends Michael Schein and Mitch Jorsky. Mike, bring us in, brother.
Totes my goats. Massive income from passive income. Totes.
Mitch, how do we do it?
You got to organize and collect those totes, my goats.
Man, we've been talking about organization all week. Darina, Ron, myself, we were in the mastermind just talking about the org chart. I realized I am not only the CEO, I'm also the vice president of sales, the vice president of marketing, and the sales manager and salesperson, as well as the appointment setter. And I realized the org chart is way bigger than it should be because I'm missing people.
Aren't you
Sounds
also
like you need to hire a VP of sales.
That seems
ASAP.
like the first thing that I want to do is bring somebody in who knows sales and is down to manage all this, because we got 40 locations right now. Alchemist Station is finally officially at 40 locations, and
Wow.
a lot of sales to be done.
Congratulations.
Thank you, brother. We are missing.
I also think you're I think you missed a label because I also think you're CTO. I think you're definitely the chief technical officer.
Ron is CTO.
Is he?
Figured that.
Chief IT officer, manager. Yep.
Nice. What's Darina? Does she have a cool title too?
Chief operations officer. She, in many of the roles, she's actually above me. In all of the sales roles that I'm in, and I'm the community manager. So almost everything, she's my direct report. I'm her direct report.
That's so awesome.
So it was funny. We were in the car and Ron was like, I just watched the CEO and the COO have a conversation with the vice president of sales and a conversation with the vice president of operations, and it went back and forth, but it was the same two people. So it was, it's been a lot of work, a lot of fun, 7 days of just grinding, but we've got something big coming up because Mitch Jorsky has decided that he would be a part of the Recession Proof Challenge conference. And also we're going to release the mentorship probably one time this year, a one-time shot at the real estate mentorship. Mitch Jorsky is going to be running it. The conference starts on the 29th and the 30th, 2 days. And Mike, have I gotten a yes from you that you'll be speaking on partnerships? Your thing got muted, brother.
Muted.
Yeah. I was just trying to check out what we're doing on Facebook. It's always nice to respond to people who are on. I do not have a commitment yet because I may be going to another island this weekend. So,
Which island are you traveling to?
we were planning on going to Utila, which is famous for the migrations of the whale sharks. And
These
you
are
can actually
huge whale
snor-
sharks.
Yeah, they're like the size of a school bus. And you could actually snorkel and see them. I don't know if it's this time of year, but supposedly it's a lot more than just like a small window. Like they're always traveling by there. So I'll keep you posted. Today is what? Thursday? Oops. I got to figure it out. Yeah.
So if you do come in, we got a spot for you on Saturday
Okay.
that is available. If not, I'll just talk about your book. I'll run through
Nice.
the book itself. Hey, I was involved in the writing of it, so I know
Yeah.
straight from your mouth what partnerships are all about.
Yeah, that was fun.
Power of partnerships.
Hell yeah. So a lot of people are asking how to evaluate deals. That's been one of the big challenges that people have been coming up with. So I want to talk about that in a minute, but I talked to Vinny today about Wealth Principle 16, which is coming up Saturday. And he was sharing his secret to the fixity of purpose, like understanding what your purpose is and how to get there. And, he was talking a lot about vacations. I kind of teased that. I was like, how'd you find your fixity of purpose? Because now he's looking to do $1 billion in hotels and $1 billion in residential assisted living, because he's already got 1.6 billion in multifamily. So now he's looking at a little diversification. And he said it really came from his 21-day vacation. He took 21 days away. So I kind of want to put that to both of you and just say, like, how did you come up with your fixity of purpose? Like, what are you working on? And like, how did that come to you? So Mitch, you're the first unmuted. Mike's got some challenges with his microphone over there.
I mean, I don't yeah and stuff. No.
I don't have a fixity of purpose.
Well, I mean, yes and no. I mean, I do, and I reached that fixity, and I guess if anything, now my goal's been to fixate on staying fixated on that because I feel like life is continually trying to pull me away from it. But back in like 2015, I was 2 years pretty much, not even into investing in real estate. I hadn't even started in crypto yet. That was 2016. But I knew then that, the goal wasn't to be working in, some kind of corporate job. And I mean, I was even working from home at that point, and I still just didn't. I'm like, nope. I'm like, I am not meant to be an employee. So, the goal was to basically, retire ASAP, and I use that word loosely because, I'm still always working, but more so just, be an entrepreneur and have enough passive income in to at least be paying the basic bills so I can, run around trying to build businesses and whatnot. So I think the fixation was on creating passive income, or at least that baseline passive income. And how can I do that? I can do that through investing. And that fixity of purpose still exists because I'm continually building that passive income. It's like, all right, I hit the threshold where peace out job. I don't need to work for anyone else. I can say F you if I want to. And now it's just continuing to be able to increase my lifestyle. Cause I mean, my life's cool and all, but I mean, if I can create more income, I can do some even cooler things.
I find that girls have helped me with my fixity of purpose. Every relationship forced me to make a little bit more.
That actually is true. So that's why I think I stayed single so long.
Right. What about you, Mike? Fixity of purpose. Like, what are you focused on right now? And like, where do you think that came from?
Yeah, I think my fixity purpose from the very beginning has always been freedom.
Yep.
Financial freedom, time freedom. And as I was thinking about it, I don't think I've ever written it down, but that's been the guiding theme for me, is to always be move to Roatan. We wanted freedom. We don't want to be stuck in the rat race. And so the new things that I'm doing now, like the private lending business that I'm starting now, is right in line with that, because my mentor basically said it's a business in a backpack. He didn't basically said it, he actually said it. It's a business in a backpack.
His
So
actual words were
yeah.
business in a backpack.
And he said that while he was in Bangkok, Thailand, hanging out with his wife and having fun. So, yeah, so it's just the purpose is to have the freedom to go travel around the world and to have enough money to do all the things I want to do. And it's just it's the guiding principle of it is just, I love the idea of freedom. I'm like, Mitch, I can't work for people. I did that, and I didn't enjoy it. So yeah, so it's cool.
I like it. We spent this past week articulating Alchemist Nation's fixity of purpose, right? Like, each one of you kind of have a very similar inline goal. Like, we want to automate the millionaire building process. That's been, we've been saying it for years, but it wasn't written down anywhere. We didn't have it like, documented that this is what we're doing. So it was cool. Like, when I said it this weekend, we all kind of looked at that sentence and we were like, oh shit, like, yeah, that's right. That's what we do. We are working on automating the process. Like, we know how to build millionaires, but it's work. Like, it's a lot of work. It's involved. It's relationships.
Right.
And if there's a way to automate it, then it's going to take collaboration. It's going to take the community. It's going to take millionaires. It's going to take mentors. It's going to take everybody just kind of, bouncing ideas and like beta testing stuff. And it could take years, but we have the technology. We have now AI is just really giving us like Ron has been diving into it and saying, like, we could almost create like a Gwalter AI version, like a version of Gwalter that knows what he knows and can listen and ask questions. And not saying that that's a project we're working on. I'm just saying that it's a project Ron has teased out there as something like, possibly we could do.
Dude.
I saw someone the other day. I was watching this thing that Mitch got us into, and the people who are explaining it look like real human beings, but I swear to God, they're AI. It's just, there's something about their lack of emotion, and they're
Absolutely
just
AI.
it's just crazy. I was like, so you could just have Walter. I don't know how you get all the, but maybe you have to wear those like green screen and
Well,
ping pong balls for a
but
while.
like, Mike, forget about even just like the video, like even just in terms of like content. So a couple weeks ago, I randomly happened to just be home and I saw the email and I jumped on Ken's call and he had this guy on that all he does is email marketing and still like to this day, that's his bread and butter, making bank with email marketing. And
Cool.
he has trained ChatGPT to write email copy in his style. So he literally puts in like
Wow.
quote, like he'll ask the question, it'll produce it, and then he'll take that and say, and now write it in quotes, put his name style, and it'll spit out a new thing that's literally you'll see the difference, and
Wow.
it's like more his writing style.
That's
And I was like,
amazing.
what? And I'm like, this is just scary.
No,
Yeah,
I mean, it's great, right? Like it's saves so much time. Especially if you know it's the sort of stuff you would say. So it's like, okay, like I want to say it, but the things I say don't
The
come out well.
artiste in me does not like it. The
Yeah, I was just
creativity is
trying to figure
dying.
I'm trying to figure out how you get Walter's like passion and emotion, because that's the
I think
part
that's what
that
you lose.
they don't get yet. I mean,
Yet.
Yeah,
Hold
exactly.
on.
moving
So we
on,
took our 47 principles. So we built 47 principles, and then
couldn't
like
do 52.
we aimed for 30, and somehow we couldn't hit 30. Like our goal was like we want them to be as concise. And then we
Yeah.
goofed around with ChatGPT saying, okay, take these 47, make them into 15. It was just garbage. Like it's like that. You missed like half the principle. Like the words just can't be concise. So but we took it to another level. I said, okay, take our 47 principles, because some of them were like a paragraph long. I said, make it 2 sentences and then start it with a why, then a what. Like why the principle is necessary and what the principle is. And that actually came out really good, but it felt, impersonal. So then I said, take this list and make it fun. And it was crazy. One of the sentences was like abracadallars. Like it was like, this is the principle.
Abracadabras. I
You're like
love
a
that. Oh my
wizard.
God, I'm saying that on Sunday. I got to remember to. I'm
Love
gonna write that down so I
I'm
don't
writing
forget.
it down too.
Abracadabras.
You're like a financial
After we
wizard.
analyze the deal, I'm gonna be like, and boom, abracadabras.
Abracadabras.
And then
Love
throw
it.
some fake money. Where's my prop money?
So I'm theorizing like these are just internal principles for the people within the company, but I think I'm going to take some of those fun ones, including abracadabras, and just like pepper them in so the principles still have some life to them.
Love that. Hey, I got a question for you, because I've never actually used ChatGPT. Is it like one website, or I've noticed that I get like emails from different sort of things?
Yeah. So OpenAI is a
Yeah,
type
company.
of code. Like it's just a platform that has worked out a lot of this code, and the ChatGPT feature is using the OpenAI platform or the back end. So they
Yeah.
have like 3 different versions. I just bought the Pro, so now I have version 4.0, which is a little slower but way smarter. In fact, I'm programming it later today to be the vice president of sales of my company, so I can just ask it what I should do next. So,
So,
swear to God.
where do you go to? You go to openai.com, or do you go to
Yeah.
Chat?
Yeah, you can type in either one and it'll bring you there.
Gotcha.
And play with it. Like it's just a chat. Like
Yeah.
it's like, when you text me and you're like, hey, Walter, how do I, find this?
Yeah.
It's the same exact thing. Like I ask Mitch, Mitch, where's the crypto thing that you and I were talking about the other day? And Mitch will just, responses come out. The ChatGPT kind of does that. It's got like all of Wikipedia or something in its
Yeah. I
its
heard
database.
it's not the internet. Yeah.
No, it's not the internet, but interestingly enough, it can go to websites and gather information from the website. So if you drop a website link in and say, grab, the text from this website and build an article, rewrite this article, it can do that. So it's got some connectivity. It's got some interesting capacity out there, or at least it seems like it does. Maybe it's just reading the URL and spitting stuff out. We're not 100% sure what that is. Further
That's-
testing is needed. But this weekend, not to change the subject, but Dorina told me I've got to talk about the recession-proof conference that's happening on the 29th and the 30th. So you can go to recessionproofconference.com and register. If you're already in the recession-proof challenge, you've already got your ticket. If you've been to the mentorship, you've got your ticket. And if you've been through mastery, you've got your ticket. The challenge is going to be, the conference is going to be all about buying real estate in a recession. So what's coming, where things are coming, how we're going to invest in real estate with higher interest rates, with higher expenses. Inflation has really not just hit real estate prices, it's affected real estate insurance, water, taxes, cost of maintenance, lumber, everything is up in price. So how do you now calculate the new costs and the expected new costs of hyperinflation as we go into a recession, which I'm excited about. This is where money is made, is in recessions. So the challenge, the conference will be a bunch of really cool speakers. We got the residential assisted living specialist, Isabella's coming in to talk about it. We've got Adrian Smoot talking about mobile homes. Mitch Jorsky will be reviewing how to evaluate deals using the Scaredy Cat calculator, which literally is the calculator you should be using during a recession. You want to be conservative. You want to do things right. Look at that. Scaredy Cat guide to real estate investing, man. This is the time. This is what your brand was built for.
Heck yeah.
How did you come up with that brand, by the way?
Because I was a scaredy cat when I started investing. And I basically was like, all right, there's other people like me out there that are risk averse. So how do we set up a process that gets you to move forward and actually pull the trigger and, make the investments instead of just thinking about it? Because that's what scaredy cats do. They just think about it.
Think about it, take no action, analysis paralysis. So I guess we're going to fight analysis paralysis this weekend.
Got to be about it.
If ChatGPT was to write that intro, it would say, we're going to fight analysis paralysis using the Scaredy Cat guide to real estate investing. And by the time you're done, abracadabras, you'll be buying real estate.
Hey, Walter, I was thinking about you,
Investing in rental properties.
Nice job. I was watching this guy who they have 11,000 single family homes in their portfolio.
Wow.
It's funny because what I was thinking, because they were buying all these houses, they call them
Workforce housing
or affordable housing. And he was buying everything at like 20% below market. And when I heard that, I thought of Gualta, because that was always your thing. But his houses, these are like cheap, like 50 grand.
He's gonna be buying them in the Midwest.
Yeah. Well, he had like a whole bunch. That was one of their things, was economies of scale. They bought a lot. Like I saw on his map, there was a lot like in Virginia and like in some of these other places. And so they just recently moved to their own property. They brought property management in-house, and that's going to save them money because, and it's a lot of it is very like you were talking about earlier, systems, because they're going to tell a guy, they're going to tell him what to do. You go to this house, this house, this house, this house, and it's all done with your phone. Tell them what to do, fix this toilet, fix this sink, fix this whatever, so that they can get like 4 or 5 jobs done in a day, as opposed to calling. They used to, their property manager would call a plumber, and as the guy said right off the bat, that's $150 just to get him to show up. And yeah, so we had 11,000 houses, and his example was like he was buying for like 50, putting like 30 grand into them, and then they're worth 100. And so there's your 20%. It was really impressive. And they're just sort of working through stabilizing, but the numbers were like crazy, because it's like, yeah, we've stabilized 4,500. We're in the process of stabilizing 2,500. And then we'll only have 1,500 left that we need to work on. And then they also said they were opportunistic about selling some of the houses too. Yeah, it's cool.
Yeah, it's funny because it's easier to sell the stabilized stuff than it is the newer ones. So it's almost like, we felt this, me and Ron felt this with South Coast Capital. It was like we do some work, we get some good cash flow, and then it would be more logical to sell the building than to hold the building. Once we stabilized it, we're like, oh my God, like it would take us 10 years to get the cash flow out of that building that I can make if I sold it right now. So we became this churning like inventory machine of hold a property for a year or two and then sell that property and then buy a bunch more like with those funds. And it grew because we just were able to just infuse a bunch of money, even though we were paying taxes. We weren't paying what the flippers were paying, right? Those flipping guys are paying 30% tax, 40%
Yeah,
tax.
right. Yeah.
Whereas we were only paying, 22%, because of capital gains. And it
Yeah,
was,
the other thing that it was really cool about this guy was that, when you're buying these houses like auctions and things like that, you
I
have
mean,
to
to
make-
buy at that volume is nuts. Like
Yeah.
how do you even buy at that volume? Like all the transactions, right?
But he said that he had to, they did a 7% bad buy insurance, he called it, because he said that they would just buy stuff because they couldn't like add an extra 15,000. And some of the houses would have like bad found 7%, they put in their numbers that 7% would have some issues like a foundation, something larger. And but they were buying in such volume that they could withstand a 7% hit on bad buy and bad buys. Yeah.
It's so smart to include those in your numbers, but I just blown away by the volume. That's iBuying, right? Like they jumped into the iBuying strategy and they just kept slamming acquisitions. What was the name of the company again?
I didn't mention it, but it's SFR3, I think, or yeah.
Hmm.
Single
Not
family.
somebody I've heard of, but they're huge. Clearly they're
Well,
huge.
you know what, the other side of it is that it's all technology. Oh yeah, I mentioned this to Mitch the other day on the crypto call that they, because I just gotten off the call. They decided very early on that they were going to have no transaction coordinator. So
Hmm.
what they did is they said, and everybody told them they were crazy because they said that they were not going to hire all these people to, get like the smoke certificate and get the water reading and do all that stuff, because all that stuff goes to the title company. So what they did instead is they created technology. The guys from Stanford, like super brilliant, high tech, the tech world. He actually came from like Uber and he worked for Uber and Google. So anyways, so rather than having people that they'd have to pay, large salaries and health insurance and all that stuff, they just had a platform that would do all this stuff for them. And then that stuff would get sent to the title company to do the closing. And 11,000 homes later, and they don't have any transaction coordinator.
It's amazing.
That's crazy, isn't it? Isn't that
It's-
awesome? I mean, it's awesomely crazy.
It's funny because we just built an org chart that requires like 15 managers, like 15 different people in places.
Yeah.
And I'm looking to put ChatGPT in as my boss. Right? I'm looking to basically have ChatGPT tell me what to do. And I'm going to take those documentations that it puts out, do them, implement them, see how it works,
Yeah.
and then replace
Maybe
myself.
someday you'll have a software so that you don't have to have all these middle level managers and things like that. It'll just be
Automate the
these are the
millionaire building
steps.
process, man.
These are the
It's all in
steps.
line.
Go to our website. This is what you have to do. Once you go to this, you get permission to go to the next step.
Yep. That man, you were preaching. We have the same thing. We made it a 7-step process, and we said if somebody passes this, they're ready for this. Then they're ready for this,
Yeah.
they're ready for this, and they're ready for this. And by the time they get to step number 6, it's pretty much step 6 is get to the summit, right? Get to the summit and just stay in line with everything that we're doing. And
Awesome.
step 7 is mastery. Yeah, and once you hit to a certain point, then you lock into mastery, and then you got to go and contribute and pay it forward, right? Like once you
Your
get that millionaire status,
your CTO must be brilliant. What's his name?
pretty smart guy. That's Ron Bowling. So yep. His job is to run the tech. My job is to now sell the community, sell the idea, sell what we're doing. And
Awesome.
yeah, it's been a really tough week, but really freeing week. Like knowing that I've just got a job, and ironically, like I never wanted a job, but I wanted a role. I wanted a responsibility. I wanted to know like what I was supposed to do when I wake up in the morning.
Yeah.
And it feels good. It feels good knowing
Awesome.
for a little while anyway, until I've replaced myself in all those positions. I can't help but every one of them has a deadline on my head. I'm like, well, I'll do this for a little while, then I'll do this for a little while.
I think
And just
that's
automate and
brilliant.
pull back.
I hear that.
I think that's brilliant. I think that's what you've always said. You wanted to do it, teach it, and delegate it.
Learn it, do it, delegate it. You got
Yeah.
it. So this time we're just building it systematically. That's That's the big difference of how we built everything in the past. I used to work for a company that had a great org chart, and we've never built an org chart for Alchemist Station. So now I know I have a strategic path to get myself out of these positions while hiring almost 100 people over the next 2 years. So we'll see how I stick to that. It could be more, it could be less, but there's 60 commission salespeople that are missing right now.
Wow, that's awesome.
It's quite the role. And the minimum income is $80,000 a year on those commission salespeople. But like there's room to make 150,000, 250,000. It's just a matter of, do you want it? Or are you a hustler or are you not? Right? Do you take it full time? Are you part time? So yeah, I'm excited. Speaking
Nice
of,
job.
I'm gonna go train ChatGPT to make me to be the vice president so that I can go and be a great sales manager. And then I'm gonna work my way down to salesperson. This
There you go.
weekend, Mitch Jorski will be there. I will be filling in for Mike if Mike doesn't make it, but if Mike makes it,
Okay.
it may be an AI teaching Mike's
Yeah.
course this weekend.
That's right. Little robot.
Yep, but the Recession Proof Conference is it is a one-time shot. Register if you haven't already registered. Go to recessionproofconference.com. I'm very excited to be able to teach this, hopefully for the last time this year, these strategies for investing, so that I can focus on building the community versus teaching the community. We're going to record it, but I don't know when we'll ever release that. There's going to be a lot of Q&A at the end, and this may be the last shot to get this kind of training for this year. So for those of you who are on the fence of whether or not you know how to invest in real estate and you want to learn how, the Recession Proof Conference is the place to learn the technicals of how to invest in real estate, how to do it in this recession, how to do it in a market like this. And you're going to be learning from people who I know, like, and I trust with my own investments. So register today. Click the link in my bio. Cheers to your success. Oh, before we get drop off, Mike, Mitch, take us out of here, guys.
Massive income from passive income.
That's the focus. And how do we do it, brother?
We organize and we collect.
Remember, the point is not to work, it's to generate income. Alchemist Station's on a mission to automate the millionaire building process. Cheers to your success. We have a choice. Always work with the best.
Work with the best.
The best. The best.
The best.